What's up, Guardians? Profane here. Thanks for checking out the video. When Into the Light launches tomorrow, there's going to be a ton of great new weapons to jump in and start farming out god rolls for. The Recluse and the Mountaintop are definitely among the most popular returning weapons, and you'll most certainly want to get your hands on those. But there's one returning weapon that I'm more excited about than any of the others, because of how much of an impact it's potentially going to have on the endgame DPS meta. The Edge Transit is an adaptive framed 120 RPM void grenade launcher, so it would most closely relate to the Regnant, which was released in Season of Defiance. When the Edge Transit was released in Forsaken, it was a running joke because of how often this grenade launcher would drop. It wasn't really all that powerful when it was in rotation, but when it returns in the Brave Arsenal, it's going to have a slew of new weapon perks that could definitely put this grenade launcher into a prime position to be a forerunning DPS candidate. The Edge Transit returns at a good time in Destiny, since grenade launchers just saw a significant buff to their damage and ammo capacity. With update 7.3.5, grenade launchers saw a 10% increase in impact damage and a 5% increase in detonation damage. It's unclear whether Edge Transit will receive new barrel and magazine options, but when it was originally put out, it did offer a nice selection of both, including barrel options of volatile, quick, or hard launch, along with magazine options of spike grenades, which was recently nerfed. There was also high explosive ordnance and augmented drum, which increases the overall magazine. When the Edge Transit returns, it's going to have what Bungie claims is the greatest hits of grenade launcher damage perks. In the third column, we'll have Chain Reaction, hands down the best weapon perk for clearing out big groups of ads. Chain Reaction will be getting a buff on drum grenade launchers when Final Shape releases, so this could be a really good perk to have with the Edge Transit, especially since it'll also come with destabilizing rounds in the fourth column. We're also getting the option of Field Prep, which would increase our reload speed when crouching by 55 points, and it would also provide us with 2 additional rounds in the reserve. The Edge Transit will also have auto reloading, which I think this will be a great choice when it comes to a DPS loadout, since this will automatically reload the weapon when it's stowed. But there's also Envious Assassin, which will massively overflow your magazine whenever getting final blows with other weapons. It can still be a great option in DPS loadouts, but the problem is it still requires getting final blows with other weapons first. So auto reloading can be a much more dependable and much more user-friendly perk. Repulsor Brace will be a great utility perk to have when you're able to hit your targets with a void debuff. This grants a 10-second overshield whenever you defeat debuffed enemies, and it's worth 45 points. So it can be a tremendous asset when you're on a void build or when you're using perks like destabilizing rounds. Beyond the benefits that Envious Assassin or auto reloading would provide, Cascade Point could be just as lucrative of a DPS option. This works a lot like Desperado, but after landing multiple precision hits or getting final blows with other weapons, the rate of fire of this weapon will be increased. It only lasts for 2.5 seconds, but with almost a 60% increase in the rate of fire, you'll be able to dump out a whole lot of damage. And there's several fourth column traits that will directly influence just how much damage you'll be able to deal. We have Frenzy, which is a very reliable damage perk, providing a sustained 15% increase in damage after you've been in combat for at least 12 seconds. And this will work even if the weapon has been stowed. So it would also work out really nicely with auto reloading or Envious Assassin. We also have Full Court, which provides a passive increase of 5% to our blast radius. The longer your projectiles stay in the air, the more explosive damage that they'll deal, with a maximum of 25%. This is more effective when using barrel and magazine options that reduce the velocity and projectile speed. This way the projectile stays up in the air longer. It's a really interesting perk, but it's not as dependable as some of the others that are on this list. We'll also have Explosive Light as an option, so when we collect orbs, we'll gain stacks of Explosive Light that increase the blast radius and damage of each projectile. We can have a maximum of 7 stacks, providing a 60% increase in explosive damage. The upside is that with perks like Cascade Point, we could dump all 7 of those overcharged grenades out really damn fast. But unless we're able to collect more orbs, that's all the benefit that Explosive Light is going to provide us. And that's where Bait and Switch comes in. And this did recently get nerfed, but it's still going to be a great option. After hitting targets with all of your weapons, you'll gain an 11-second damage bonus of 30%. So with Cascade Point, auto reloading, or Envious Assassin, we could really take advantage of the benefits of Bait and Switch to maximize our damage output, especially when we pair the Edge Transit into a DPS rotation that includes weapons like the Cloud Strike, Izanagi's Burden, the Merciless, or the Wither Horde, just to name a few. Outside of the damage benefits that the Edge Transit will offer, it's also going to have Deconstruct in the 4th column. And this is a perk that we've seen act pretty wonky with different weapons. It's supposed to only activate off of constructs, providing you with a means of automatically reloading the weapon. But sometimes it activates off of any enemy, and sometimes it just doesn't activate at all. So honestly, I'm not really sold on this weapon perk, not at least until it gets sorted out properly. I mentioned before that we do have destabilizing rounds as an option, so when we do defeat enemies, those who are nearby will become volatile, allowing us to easily trigger the benefits of Repulsor Brace, and a perk that would greatly benefit from having Chain Reaction. Adrenaline Junkie is also a really interesting option that's available in the 4th column, and this could be really beneficial in both Crucible and in the PvE. This provides us with another form of a damage bonus, but unlike the others, this is a stacking bonus that's triggered off of final blows with this weapon or with our grenades. It starts as a 6% increase, but it tops off at 33%. And while it can be effective, I would much rather have this weapon perk on my primary or special weapon. So to bring it all together, if you want a great utility version of Edge Transit, you want to look at Repulsor Brace and Destabilizing Rounds. But if you want something for ad clear, you're going to want to throw Chain Reaction in there. And for a DPS focused version, you want Cascade Point, auto reloading, or Envious Assassin within the 3rd column, and Bait and Switch or Explosive Light or Frenzy in the 4th. It's still too early to know for sure, but based on the performance of grenade launchers like the Cosmic, the Wendigo, and the Regnant, well, the Edge Transit should easily put up the same levels of damage, which is going to make it a great option in many DPS loadouts. And a big upside about that is that this is a completely free weapon that anyone will be able to get. The Edge Transit will drop as a reward from the Onslaught activity, and you'll be able to get it from the Hall of Champions. So when Into the Light drops, be sure that you keep an eye out for this amazing new grenade launcher, because this is not the same old Edge Transit that you would scoff at. And with that said, I wish you all the best of luck throughout Into the Light. Let me know your thoughts about this new event and your thoughts about the brave new arsenal. Thank you as always for checking out the video. If you enjoyed and found it helpful, then be sure to hit that like button below, along with the subscribe button if you're new. Both are greatly appreciated, and both really do help support the channel. If you're a new Light Guardian just starting your journey, or a battle-hardened veteran just looking for a new home, then be sure to check out the Discord link in the description below and join one of the greatest communities in all of Destiny. And until next time, Guardians, this has been Profane, wishing you all some happy hunting.